This is Prophecy, Chapter 1, Part 1. Before I get started, I need to let you know that there is foul language and foul situations. So if you think you'll be offended, please shut this down. I wrote this book in the truest form for the date and time that this perhaps will happen. So, Chapter 1, Lo and behold, I give you turmoil. Eli, can you pick Lisa up after school this afternoon? I have that meeting with Vincent after work. Sure, Eli said with a dry tone. Erica glanced over at him and rolled her eyes. He looked her way and looked away. Do you think you could be any more non-accommodating? Erica blurted this out while securing her daughter's hoodie tie. Oh, come on, for Christ's sake. You have these meetings. He motioned with his fingers as if he doubted them to be true. Every other day. Why can't he hold these meetings during work hours? Eli didn't slow down until he was finished and feeling better for it. Erica glared at him as she crouched on her knees, tying her daughter's shoes. You're kidding me, right? You wouldn't know the first thing about meetings for work since you don't work. The least you could do, instead of giving me grief every single time I have a meeting, is pretend that you like doing something productive and needed, such as picking up our daughter. Erica didn't take a break either and felt better for it. Eli drilled a hole through her as she talked, clenching his fist from behind the counter where he stood by the sink. When she finished, he continued to drill a hole through her until she looked away, feeling uncomfortable. Done? Because if you are, by some chance, done, I need to get our daughter to school, since raising her is my fucking job. The whole time Erica and Eli were spitting back and forth in hateful tones, Lisa was squeezing her eyes shut and trying with all of her might to will her ears shut too. By the time they were finished, she was in tears. She should be used to it, but she didn't believe she ever would be. At the tender age of 7, Lisa had been a victim of their verbal hatred since her mother had started working when she was 4. Eli let his eyes go from Erica's face to Lisa's. Come on, baby girl. I'll get you some hot cocoa before I take you to school. He felt like a real shit after seeing her little face wet from tears. Lisa pulled away from her mother and hurried over to her dad, wrapping her arms around his legs. I love you, Daddy. Erica showed the hate for him in her eyes while Lisa wasn't looking. Best get going. I'll get my own cocoa, as always. With that said, she brushed past the counter without saying goodbye to either of them and walked out the door. She waited until she was inside her car before she let the tears seep from her eyes.